There's a moment in life when, after being through so many things, we simply explode. There is no being in history who can handle and hold everything that happened to them with no reaction. At least, not forever. And in this video, I'll try to justify in the best way possible not everything but most of the terrible things Tai Lung did. I hope you're ready because this is gonna be hard. As we all remember, Tai Lung, just as everyone, was one day a little innocent kid. A kid that, after being abandoned in the Jade Palace when he was very little, fortunately, got something we all would call a father. One that not only would love him as his own son, but also train him to be the one that one day would inherit the responsibility of the Dragon Warrior. Because, contrary to what a movie idea might give, it was never a gift or something we could win. The Dragon Warrior title was a responsibility to protect the value of peace and its people. But a possible wrong idea that Tai Lung ended up getting was never his fault. It was his master's, Shifu. But let me explain. As we all see in the movie, Tai Lung was probably not forced but encouraged to train until he cracked his bones. By someone who filled his head with dreams of being one day the Dragon Warrior, but more like a reward for all the sacrifice he did training his whole life. Something that Tai Lung already thought it was his destiny, which wasn't his fault either. Because Shifu should have told him that it was a responsibility but not a reward, that it was meant to protect people and make peace but not to gain power. So the fact that Tai Lung thought that the Dragon Warrior title was a boost to his powers or a reward for all the training he did was all Shifu's fault. Because he didn't even mention him or warn him that there was a chance of not even getting the title at the end. And everything Tai Lung did just to end up one day being denied of all he thought was already his by just one single person. Just imagine spending not your whole life but 1 year doing something and preparing everything for that one thing. And at the end, someone else, and not even the person who encouraged you to do it, says that it won't be. How would you feel after that? Bad, right? Betrayed. Because as we see in the movie, when Tai Lung asks Shifu, what did he do after the Master Uwe decided that? With a broken heart, he says nothing. So the turning into something bad or evil on Tai Lung started all by Shifu and his blindness towards Tai Lung. Because as he mentioned, he was so proud that he couldn't even see he was doing wrong. But this is just the beginning. Tai Lung, filled with an anger that will internally destroy anyone, and being incapable to control all his feelings, finally exploded, attacking the people he was supposed to protect, but nobody told him that. Rebelling against his master, those who instead of properly teaching him what they should, just let him train until his mind got lost. Because he was incredibly strong and skilled, yes, but mentally and emotionally as abandoned as the first day he entered that place, by the same person that one day called him his own son. So when Tai Lung tried to obtain the Dragon Scroll by force, he was only doing what he was literally trained his whole life for. And his master, facing the impossibility to control the monster they created, the only thing they thought was to put him in jail for the rest of his life. But not a regular jail with some other dangerous villains or at least some other, let's say, human contact. No. They sealed him into a prison that was created only for him. A prison that was warded by guys that did not other thing but mess with him, barely feeding him, and almost with no chance to move a single bone. Can't you even possibly imagine how would it be to spend one single day under those conditions? Can you? Nothing how it would be after 20 years of your own life. Believe me, when Tai Lung finally escaped that prison, he was as furious as every one of us would easily be. And when the Furious Five encountered him, they were so lucky to not being killed by someone that had enough time to control himself to not do it. Because at the end, he saw in them the same victim he one day was. Taking for the first time in years a wise decision, letting them go. And when he finally found himself in front of the person responsible for everything that went wrong in his life, he let go all that was torturing him from inside, telling that master everything he thought about him, claiming him why he did nothing to at least support him in the end. Feeling betrayed and internally destroyed, he was determined to get revenge at all costs. And if taking the dragon scroll will cost the life of Shifu, he was not going to stop. Because remember, there was already a replacement for him. So he had, by that moment, nothing else in his life to give him a purpose to follow. It's almost impossible to even try to imagine what something like that would be like for us. There is no empathy that would let us know what would it feel like. And when Tai Lung, after a full life of disappointments, find his end on the hands of someone that was also incapable to spare him, he finally, for the first time ever, found peace, to rest for the eternity. So Tai Lung was after all just a victim of the ambitions of a blind man that was only looking for a son to feel pride for. But I don't know, what do you think? I'd like to know your opinion. I'll read you the comment section. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. I am the Dark Agent, and I'll see you again.